Let me entice you with a culinary masterpiece. The one and only Beef Bourguignon, aka the Beef Burgundy. This beauty is beyond impressive. She will make you look like a kitchen pro, trust me. The flavors are deep and complex and achieved with the simplest ingredients. It's sorcery, I tell you, sorcery. Never been to France? No worries, my friend. The aromatics in the wine infuse this luscious dish with so much richness and depth that you'll be transported through space and time. Don't quote me. Let's strap on our aprons and make some magic happen. Let's go. I'm starting our delicious dish with 4 pounds of chuck roast that has been cut into 1.5 to 2 inch cubes. I'm patting all of that dry to remove as much moisture as possible because listen, I want this beef to get nice and brown and crispy when I sear it later. To flavor it up, I'm hitting it with some salt and pepper and literally nothing else. Believe me when I tell you this is more than enough. Trust the process. When the beef is well seasoned, I'm gonna set it aside for 30 minutes to let it absorb the salt and pepper flavors and come to room temperature. Moving on, I'm slicing 4 large carrots down to 1 inch pieces and cutting them on the bias. Listen, it sounds super fancy, but all it means is that I'm cutting them diagonally. This is the type of cut that creates more surface area for the carrots to get nice and golden and toasty, and that's exactly what I'm after. Also, everyone knows veggies cut on the bias just taste better. Don't look that up. Next up, I'm slicing 1 onion into thin little rainbows. If you know me at all, then you know this is not my preferred type of cut for an onion. My preference is to cut them so small that they're seriously invisible to the naked eye. However, trust me when I tell you that these onions are gonna melt into the beef and the sauce, and you won't even know they're there. And moving on again, it's garlic time. I am peeling 6 cloves of garlic and throwing them into my garlic press to mince them up because why not? This is seriously my favorite way to mince garlic. Who even has time to chop these little guys up all teeny tiny with a knife? Not this girl. And now for the fun part, the cooking. So I'm going to start by searing the beef in batches, which is going to add heaps and heaps of flavor to this dish. Now, ordinarily, I am not a super patient person and searing in batches would make me a little crazy. But it's a necessary evil. If I throw all the beef in at once, it's going to steam, and that is just not the vibe here. We need brown, golden, crispy. So moving on, it's time to cook our sweet little carrots and onions. Here's where the flavor starts to layer up. I'm gonna hit these guys with a sprinkle of salt to help them sweat. As they cook, the water's gonna get released from the veggies and it's gonna mix with the seared little bits of beef that are stuck on the bottom of the pot, and all of that is gonna make the carrots and onions and the entire dish way more flavorful. Oh, the deliciousness. Look at how caramelized these guys are. Oh, I can't even. So I'm adding our minced garlic to the pot, giving everything a stir, and then it's time for the tomato paste. I'm adding 1 heaped tablespoon of the tomato paste and stirring all of that around for about a minute. This really helps the paste to caramelize the sugars, which really deepens the flavors. Oh, the party that awaits us. So back to business, I'm stirring in 2 heaped tablespoons of gluten-free flour and stirring that around for about a minute to cook off the flour flavor. This is also going to thicken the stew in the most fabulous way. I'm tossing in the bay leaves, the thyme, and pouring in 1 1/3 bottles of red wine. After a thorough stir, I'm adding the seared beef, giving it 1 more good stir, and then it's off to the oven for this guy. Our beef bourguignon is going to cook at 300 degrees for 4 hours or until the beef is super duper tender. When our beef is done, we're gonna take it out of the oven, let it rest for a few minutes, and while that happens, I'm gonna brown up the mushrooms and then add them to the pot with everything else, and oh my God, we are good to go. And here it is, the one and only, the beef bourguignon in all its glory. Feast your beautiful little eyes on that deep, rich burgundy color. This is velvety and smooth and the ultimate experience. The beef is ultra tender. The carrots are the perfect sweet companion. The traces of wine are rich and decadent. And listen, this is my new heaven.